Yes, it's been a while since I've done a video, and the topic for today is 2012 Doomsday or Ascension. That is the question of the hour. I haven't been doing many videos lately, or haven't done a video for about 3 or 4 months now since the Whitney Houston video, simply because I don't want to become a recorder of our enslavement. That is, recording different events that are transpiring on our earth plane, and then all of a sudden we realize that we have been enslaved. You know, we have to be really careful about recording what is going on and really participating in our own unfoldment. That is the key. Not recording what's taking place, but being passive participants on the world stage. We must become active participants, and I really encourage people to do the inner, deeper work in order to allow that unfoldment to happen within you. That's the key. Okay, so the meme that's quite prevalent right now is terrorism. That's why I want to do this video on the Olympics and this supposed false flag event that it may happen during the Olympics. I don't believe that that's going to happen. Too much time and energy has gone into preparing for these Olympics, and I think that the meme of terrorism is simply a precursor for what's to come, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But one of the things I want to highlight to begin with is that the Olympics is occurring in London, which is the fourth chakra of the Earth grid system. And that's really key. That's the focal point. In that, yes, when we look at the chakra system of humanity, the fourth chakra, which is the green one in the middle there of this man here, this is a chakra system, and the green one is the heart. And so yes, the power control forces, those that run this world, keep humanity enslaved through the fourth chakra and through probably most of the chakras, but we're focusing on the fourth chakra right now. So the fourth chakra is again connected to the London Olympics, which is the fourth chakra of the heart. Now, when we look at the 2012 Olympic symbol, which is 2012, it could be interpreted that way, or Zion, and you see the two mascots there. Remember those mascots, and remember the color of the purple here, okay, on the 2012 Ascension, the color purple. Remember that color, because that'll be very key as we move forward. Now, Zion in the ancient days, or Sion, S-I-O-N, but here it's spelled Z-I-O-N. Zion in the ancient days by the Gnostics was symbolic of the center of our Milky Way galaxy and this energy that formed out of this galaxy. Interesting enough, 2 years ago in 2010, NASA came up with an article that stated that there was this new energy that was coming from our galactic center. Notice how this energy is showing as a purple plume color. As I mentioned, 2012 Doomsday or Ascension, the same color is represented there. Very similar to the Zion logo color, but it's a little off. It's fuchsia, more of a fuchsia color, but just keep that in mind. Now, if we go back to the chakra system of humanity, it is a rainbow. It's a rainbow bridge. Well, if we go back to our two mascots on the Zion, attached to the Zion logo here, what we can see is, we see our two mascots going down a rainbow, which is very interesting. And the rainbow is very much replicated in the stadium, the design of the Olympic Stadium. You're going to see the 7 lights, or the 7 rays of the rainbow in the Olympic Stadium, all representing the 7 rays of the chakra system within the human body. Also, I want to show you this is the new plans for Apple computers new offices that's going to be developed for 13,000 employees and 6,000 trees. Remember trees, because I'm going to bring that up in a moment. This is all a part of the deception program. Yes, there's lots of hidden truth and meaning behind everything. Too much to go into here. But if we look at the outline of the stadium, this is going to be the opening ceremonies. The interesting thing in the back, the very, very back there, is a tree. I believe that's the tree of the good, tree of knowledge of good and evil. And what we see represented here could be the Garden of Eden, or it also could be the womb, and signifying procreation, because procreation is very big in the Olympics. Now, Olympics is an event that happens every 4 years or every 2 years as well. So we have this ceremony coming up over and over again, and it represents, I believe, the new one world religion called Olympism, and that we all talk about, which involves the 5 continents, So again, this is all leading to the biggest deception, which is you're being denied your right to ascend, and the power control force, those that run this world, are having you participate in this ritual, this mega ritual, and you don't even know, or most people don't even know, that this is even going on. But one of the things I also found very interesting is I've talked about in many of my videos is this John Milton's 12 book of poems, which is based on the 3 chapters of Genesis. The movie Paradise Lost is coming out next year, but this Paradise Lost poems is about the fall of man. And so I believe that this year's Olympics is really about the power control force, those that run this world, reminding humanity, as they always probably are, that who runs the world? The power control force. It's a reminder of who runs the world and the bloodlines that run this world, and the power that they presume to have over you, because they use you and me. They consider us as energizers, or just batteries, and for their own consumption and use and disposal. And until humanity wakes up to what is going on here, we are going to continuously be run and dominated by this dark, sinister force, this dark, sinister program. One of the interesting things that came up is that I found was that really struck me to do this video was this bell that's going to be situated right next to this display, this field at the Olympics. And the interesting thing is it has work number 1197. Well, reverse of that would be 9/11 in the 7th month. So another 9/11 in the 7th month. That's what I got from that. And so while this is starting on the 27th, and the mem is terrorism, it's all suggestion. This is all suggestion. This is all using the power of suggestion. We don't know that any of this is going to happen, but it's all suggestion. If we look at this next photo, what we see here is the uniform of the medal bearers, or the medal bearers at each of the podiums that will be during the Olympics. And it was stated that these are the ugliest costumes. But again, they are the same color purple that's coming out of the Milky Way galaxy, this new energy that's coming out of the Milky Way galaxy. All by design. Again, if we look at the chakra system of the human body, at the very top here is the same purple color. And so basically what the power control force is saying, we're controlling your ascension. And this can be very prominently seen if you look at my last video on the sacrifice of Whitney Houston. I showed you the picture of Nicki Minaj. I called her Nicki Minja, and got a lot of flack for that, because prior to doing my Whitney Houston video, quite honestly, I didn't even know her name, and so that's why I called her Nicki Minja, because I don't stay abreast of the hip-hop area and all the latest musicians that are playing and stuff like that. But anyway, so in this video here, or this picture here, what it's showing is Nicki Minaj and the Pope. And in that picture, what they're basically saying, she's got Medusa on her. So it's like the Roman cult, the Vatican. She came in at the Grammys saying that the Vatican basically rules the world. Yes, they do. And notice how they have the pine cone. The pine cone is green, and there's two peacocks, one representing immortality, one representing the resurrection. Yes, the power control force is telling you that they rule the pineal gland of every human being, supposedly on earth, and they want to keep the pineal gland green so that you do not wake up to your own enslavement. That's the key. Now, if we look at go back to the podium where the medallions will be given out to all the winners at the Olympics, if we look at the Olympic medal, and I can't go into that much detail here, what we will see is that that Olympic medal looks exactly like what I showed you in the last Whitney Houston video, how Madonna was mirroring Beaufort. This is the Illuminati Beaufort that's they skull him, or the Masonic symbol that they adhere to anyway. But that Masonic symbol, or demonic symbol, was replicated by Madonna at the Super Bowl, and it's also being replicated on the Olympic medals. You see the wings and this individual with the breasts and the cape and holding the flame, but one arm is down, one arm is up. We've got the 5 rings above, but there's a 6th ring, which is the capstone, which is missing. So we have the 5 rings above, which are pointing downwards, and this figure in the middle here is replicating or identified as the 6th ring, the capstone, the missing capstone. So I thought that was quite interesting to share that with you. And then to top things off, we had major solar activity last weekend, and that precipitated that. Before that happened, or after that happened, we had this massacre in Aurora. Notice how the background, it almost looks like there is a solar flare. Well, that's representative of the solar flares that come off the sun. And this massacre happened in Aurora, Colorado, which was quite interesting. There's a lot of significance that came out of that. I did a little post on my Facebook page, and if you're interested, you can check that out and join me on Facebook, become a friend on Facebook, and learn about some of the ins and outs of the things that I share here. Again, this is all suggestion, But the key thing is for you to become fearless and be able to see through the hidden truth, through the deception program that the power control puts on humanity, through all these memes and stories and scripts. You know, fiction is becoming reality now for many, many, many people. And you can allow this doomsday or deception program to happen and be denied your right to ascend in this lifetime. That's the opportunity, because we have new energy that's coming from our Milky Way galaxy, that's being precipitated by solar activity, and you get to be a part of that awakening. Now, one of the last things I want to leave you with is that we just had the Venus transit on June the 5th of this year, and that was all leading up to, from the Whitney Houston sacrifice, the Diamond Jubilee which happened the same weekend as the Venus transit, Diamond Jubilee of the Queen's birthday. Again, all of this leading up to the 2012 Olympics, right? And this Olympics is a precursor for what's to come. I don't believe that anything is necessarily going to happen at the Olympics. But I do believe that the Olympics is a precursor for a mega ritual that'll happen sometime either later this year or in the future. And with the Venus transit, we have to keep in mind that, from what I've read and heard, that after every Venus transit that's come in the past, there's been some type of earthquake or tsunami that's occurred. There's historical evidence. And so I've often talked about this Ring of Fire and the Last Supper that will occur in the Ring of Fire, which I believe will be off the coast of Vancouver Island, hitting the coast of Oregon and the other coasts. And it's not to be fearful, but it will be the last mega ritual event, which will take many, many lives. Now, I have taken this pretty seriously, and I'm not here to predict what's going to happen. But I was living in Vancouver, off the coast of Vancouver Island, and I've moved away simply because when you know the deeper truths, you must take action. You must be responsible for one's life. And there are many people who I've shared this with and who've decided not to do anything and to stay where they are. And that's fine, that's their choice. But I have decided to move, and so I no longer live in Vancouver. So, in terms of preparing for what's to come, you cannot know how these people operate, these psychopaths that run this world. They are masters of what they do, and you are nothing to them. And so it's really important that you do not allow them to take your right to ascend in this lifetime. That ascension is your birthright. You must come to know that if you do not already. And so I'll leave you with that. But again, you must become fearless and do not fall into the deception program. It is your responsibility to connect the dots and to learn the truth as you understand it and as you know it. This is a wonderful time to be here. It's a wonderful time to be alive. But don't buy into this doomsday. It's 2012 doomsday. It's just another mem. Buy into the mem of your ascension. That's the mem you want to attend to, is the mem of your ascension. No one can deny that of you. The power control force knows this. They're scrambling. The world is changing rapidly. Take back your power and live the life you were meant to live. Take care. If you have any questions or comments, leave them for me. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, great. If you want to join me on Facebook, great. Talk to you later. Bye.